Have you ever looked up at the full moon and felt a quiet wonder? That luminous ball floating above us, so familiar, seems almost eternal. But what if I told you its true origin is one of the wildest, most violent stories in the solar system? Let that sink in. Today, we're going to peel back billions of years to ask, how did the moon form? And trust me, you might not expect the answer. Okay, before we dive into collisions and giant impacts, let me frame this. The moon isn't just a pretty face in the sky. How it came to be holds clues about Earth's early days, our planet's evolution, and even whether similar moons could exist elsewhere. Over time, scientists have proposed several theories. Some ideas were elegant, some downright bizarre. But the more we learn, the more the puzzle demands a twist. Here's what we'll cover. Number 1. The early theories of lunar formation. Number 2. How Apollo missions changed everything. Number 3. The leading theory today and its challenges. Number 4. What future discoveries could still shake the picture? And I promise along the way we'll drop into some surprising insights that might flip your expectations. Early theories are that the moon is a visitor, sibling, or spin-off from Earth. Let's go back, way back. Before we had lunar samples, scientists tried to reason how a massive body like the moon could have formed. One idea capture. Maybe the moon was once a wandering asteroid, passing Earth's gravitational field, and got snagged. It sounds poetic. A cosmic wanderer captured by our planet. But there are problems. The moon is big. That capture would demand impossibly fine-tuned conditions. And its core and composition don't match what you'd expect from a random asteroid. Another idea, binary formation. Earth and moon form together like twins, from the same swirling disk of dust and gas around the young sun. But when we look at their cores and internal structures, the idea starts to wobble. Why is the moon's core so small compared to Earth's? If both formed side by side, shouldn't they be more similar? Then there was a daring spin-off idea. Earth was spinning so fast, it flung a chunk off, and that became the moon, like a spinning top shedding material. But again, mechanics don't cooperate easily. That chunk would likely have flown off entirely or broken apart. Each of these theories had elegance, but each also hit a roadblock when we examined hard evidence. Apollo missions were the game changer. Astronauts walked, rocks were scooped, and samples began streaming back to Earth. This was a turning point. Scientists analyzed those lunar rocks. What did they find? The moon's chemical makeup is eerily similar to Earth's crust. Oxygen isotopes, elements like magnesium and silicon. These fingerprints revealed a connection. If the moon had been an outsider, those matches would be harder to explain. And that's when the collision theory began to take shape more seriously. Something massive must have collided with Earth, mixing debris, ejecting material, and eventually coalescing into the moon. But there's a twist. If you do that math, you'd expect some of the impactor's material mixed in. You'd expect more differences. But the moon looks too much like Earth. It's as though the impactor's signature is faint. Or maybe the mixing process was more thorough than we thought. So while the collision theory is today's front-runner, it still carries tough questions. Here is the leading theory and its mysteries. Here's how the impact hypothesis generally goes. Billions of years ago, when Earth was young and molten, a Mars-sized body, call it Theia, crashed into us. The collision was violent, ejecting massive amounts of rock and vapor into orbit. Some material cooled and stuck together, forming the moon. Others fell back to Earth. This scenario explains a lot. Why the moon has similar composition to Earth. Why the moon's core is comparatively small. Why the angular momentum of the Earth-Moon system looks the way it does, but it's not perfect. A few puzzles remain. The isotopic similarity is almost uncanny. Earth and moon look too much alike. We need better models of how debris reaccreted. We lack diverse lunar samples from many places on the moon's surface to fully test these ideas. Some scientists now propose that the impact wasn't a single blow, but perhaps multiple collisions, or a glancing impact or a more complex dance of bodies. It's not as clean as one big blow. Nature rarely is. So although the collision model is our best theory, the story is still unfinished. What future discoveries could change everything? What would shake this theory to its core? If we got lunar samples from unexplored regions, say the far side or deeper drilling, we might find different isotopic signatures. Or perhaps we find traces of Theia that we never expected, distinct layers, unusual elements. Advanced simulations with more computing power could reveal dynamics we haven't considered. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find small moons around other planets whose origins mirror ours, giving us comparative data. In science, the theories evolve, and the moon's origin is a prime example. Each new data point can reshape the story. So here's where we land. The moon, our constant nighttime companion, likely owes its existence to a violent, ancient collision. But that answer doesn't feel final. It feels like a chapter in an ongoing mystery. Next time you gaze up at the moon, remember, you're looking at cosmic forensic evidence, a rock that carries Earth's memory, and hints of a time when our planet was far more chaotic than you might imagine. Let me leave you with this. We don't just study the moon to know it, we study it to know ourselves. What do you think? Could the moon's origin story hold surprises we haven't even imagined yet? If you liked this video, do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel, where I always strive to provide you with space, facts, and mysteries. Thank you so much for watching.